So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the subject everybody hates, and that's the phones. What we're going to do is we're going to master the phones so that you guys, by the time this is done and you guys go through the approach, because I actually got you guys an actual approach, okay, for you guys to role play and stuff like that, my approach, you guys are going to be amazing people on the phone, okay? You're going to master the phones, and then the next time you guys go into your office and you go to phone jam or you guys do, go call your appointments, your manager's going to go, wow, you sound really good on the phone. And you're like, that's right, baby, because I'm here to slay it, right? Okay? So what I wrote down here, phones are something that is not in our comfort level. And the reason why it's not in our comfort level is because we think too much about what's happening on the other end of the phone. Are they going to like me? Are they going to set up the appointment? Is this the right thing that I want to do? Is this what you know what I mean? So I wrote on here, phones equal money. Okay? Write that down. Phones equal money. Why do phones equal money? Because if you don't do phones, you don't set up what? And if you don't set up appointments, you don't what? Get sales. What brings you what? Money. Okay? So every time you guys see your cell phone, think of it as money. Okay? Every time I see my cell phone, I think of it as an ATM. Right? How much is it going to give me today? Right? And the thing is that if that ATM is dry or you get denied, the worst word in the world is declined, right? Okay? Then that means that obviously your ATM is not up and running. Okay? And nobody likes to be declined on, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about how it's important that your phones create the demos that you need, which create the sales that allow you to get whatever you want in life, and that's have the money that you need, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to do a fun little activity before I go into the approach. I'm going to tell you guys what phones stand for, okay? So on your piece of paper, I want you to put a capital P, and then go right down from there, a capital H, and then O, and then N, and then E. So you spell phone, okay? Going down your page. So P. P stands for personable. You have to have a personality on the phone, right? And when I say you have to be personal, you have to have a personality, is because if you sound like a robot or a machine, usually what happens to you? Click. Oh, it's a solicitor. Click, right? You have to have personality. If you have personality, it makes you excited to talk to, or they want to talk to you. Does that make sense? People are like, oh, wow, who is this, right? Hey, Jill, and you're really happy, you're really excited, right? If you're like, hi, Jill, I'm giving you a call because she's not like, who is this? You know what I mean? Click, all right? Okay, we don't want that. We want that where they're like, okay, they just said my name really enthusiastically. They're like excited to talk to me, right? How many of you guys have been on the phone and you guys call someone and the name that you get on your lead is Chris? And you're all like, and a lady answers, you're like, hi, Chris, how are you? And then she's like, this isn't Chris, this is Dawn. And you're all like, oh, right? Make sure that you know the name before you call it so that you know if it's a guy or a girl, okay? The thing that you guys need to do is smile on the phone. Do you smile on the phone? Do you guys know what smiling on the phone means? Smile the whole time you're talking, right? What helps me with smiling on the phone is I think of something that's just ridiculous, okay? Something that's happened that you can't get out of your mind that you're like, I cannot believe that happened, right? Like I watched a YouTube video of this hippopotamus coming out of the water, and it releases some gas, and then like it does this and stuff flies everywhere. Like every time I think of that, I get a huge smile on my face. I'm like, that's awesome, right? So when you're on your phone, you think of stuff like that. Something that's gonna go, wow, this is awesome. Like it could be way worse than what I'm doing right now, okay? One thing that I wrote down here for you guys to do is do your phones in front of the mirror one time. Do this. If you guys do this, you'll learn a lot about who you are and what you look like when you're on the phone, okay? And I love it because when you sit in the mirror and you're looking at yourself, and I love it because I go to the office and, South Denver office, they have like, in the summertime, like 80 people doing phones at the same time, and it's like massive, and every single kid is like this. Hi, Jill. I'm giving you a call because I have to do some initial appointments. And they're like this, and I'm all like, oh, who would set up an appointment with you, right? And then you have the one kid that's in the hall, and she's like, hey, Jill, I was just giving you a call. He has his stuff down, right? And he's like, yes, I got another one. Check it off, right? And you're all like, that kid totally saw himself in the mirror, right? Because I would never want to set up an appointment with a kid that's just sitting there going, right? So challenge yourself. Don't put your head down and do your calls because you hate doing it. Do it because you know it's going to make you money, right? Next thing I have here, H, hone. You got to hone your skill, okay? You got to master your craft, okay? When we talk about hone, we mean you got to know the approach, okay? It should just come out of you like, like anything that you would normally just randomly say, right? Okay, when you go to church, the hymns and stuff like that, it just comes out of you because you know it, right? So you should do that with your phone approach. Your phone approach should just be known, okay? It's the same thing. If you are doing an approach that you know, it's just like when you do an approach for a fair and show, when a new customer comes up to the booth, okay? When a realtor rep calls a realtor to set up a one-on-one, okay? It could be anyone that's doing an approach for their demo, doing a service call approach. People that know their stuff and have honed their craft are the top people that are out there. Believe it or not, there's a lot of realtor reps out there that do a phone call and it's just verbatim. Da-da-da-da-da-da, it's time to set it up. Let's go, right? And that's the way that you guys got to do when you're setting up your demos and your service calls. You have to hone your craft. You got to master it. One thing that I put in here is find out what you're doing wrong and make it better. If you're having people that are giving you, you're not having good results on the phone, that means you're doing something wrong, right? It's okay to do your approach with someone that's next to you or do it with a manager or something like that and say, what am I doing wrong? Like there's something I'm doing wrong because I'm not getting the results that I'm supposed to get, right? And it could be easy things like something that you say that just throws a customer off, right? So that's H, hone. O, outstanding. Okay? Once you get a personality and you understand what your personality is on the phone, and then you hone your skill, then you become outstanding, right? And when you become outstanding, you do things that make you outstanding, okay? And what I say here is outstanding on how you answer the phone. How many of you guys, when you answer the phone, you have something ready to go, right? Some of you do. Some of you are like, hello? Who is this, right? You can't be like that, right? You own a business. Your phone is now a business phone, okay? So you have to answer it as if that's a customer that's calling you. Now, obviously, if your friends are calling you, it comes up, oh, Jake's calling me. Hey, buddy, what's up, right? Where if you see a number that you don't know, that usually means that it's a customer calling you, right? So if you know that in the back of your head, to be outstanding on the phone is you know how to answer the phone correctly. Hello, this is Curtis with Cutco. How can I help you? Oh, Curtis, I'm so glad you picked up the phone. I need da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, right? I can answer the phone amazing. So when you answer the phone outstanding, then the thing is, then it just creates a faster connection with the customer, right? And it's not just about answering, okay? It's all about not avoiding the money. And when I say not avoiding the money, it's how many times do you guys get a phone call and you see a number that you don't know and you're like, I'll let it go to voicemail. Guess what you did? You just turned the ATM off, right? And said, they can go to collection, right? And the thing is, you can't do that. You have to be ready for that phone. That phone goes off, you have to pick it up. That's your moneymaker, right? You have to be outstanding on the phone because you have to be ready for any time someone calls you. Let's say you do phones, right? You do your phone, you do your phones for like from 6 to 8, and then all of a sudden you get a weird phone number that comes at 8:30. Don't look at it and go, oh, it's past the time. I don't have time for that. And I know every one of you guys have done that in this room because I've done it, right? I'm like, oh, no, I'm not answering that. She should have picked up when I called her. Right? And you guys are laughing because it's true, okay? What you need to do is go, okay, it must be a customer that's calling me back because I had left her a message, right? Or she saw that my phone number came up and I didn't leave a message, so now she's like, okay, who called me, right? It's that mystery, like, who is this, right? Then we go into the N, natural. It becomes natural, right? When you get your personality down, then you hone your craft, then you're outstanding on the phone, then it's just a natural thing, okay? That phone now you see as a moneymaker. You see it as a natural thing. Oh, I got to pick this up, right? My manager hates it because he'll be doing a PC with me, and I'll be like, hold on. And he's all like, what? And I'm like, hold on. Hello, this is Curtis with Cutco. How can I help you? And he's like, seriously? And I'm all like, dude, they come first, okay? This is my moneymaker, right? There's no way I'm not going to pick up my phone. Because it's funny because a lot of people go, oh, you're really bad at, like emails. Yeah, because I'm really good at phones. So if you want to talk to me, call me or text me, and then we'll talk, right? And then people are like, oh, well, there's other ways of communicating. And I'm like, well, that's how I communicate, right? Because I've mastered my craft of the phone. I love the phone. okay? And the thing is that everybody goes, yeah, everybody's zombies because they're always on their phone. That's because they're on apps and they're doing things that they shouldn't be doing with their phone, right? That's not me. My phone, I'm sitting here going, okay, it just buzzed. Who is it? Oh, it's nothing. And then I put it down and I don't even care about it, right? So it's natural for me to go, okay, where's the money coming? It's coming on this phone, right? And then E is excitement. Excitement, enthusiastic, okay? When someone said, hey, you need to get on the phones and set up appointments, what do? We go, oh, crap. I don't want to do that. I hate that. Like, seriously, do I have to do the phone calls now? How many of you guys have done that to the manager? Oh, I forgot my leads at home. I can't do it. Oh, I don't have the right notebook with me. I'm sorry. You're avoiding it because you're not excited about it, okay? Whenever our managers in our meetings would be like, oh, and now we're doing phone jam, it's like, yes. And everybody's all like, why is he excited about that? And I'm like, because I'm going to make money, right? And I get excited about the phone because I'm all like, yes, this is my opportunity to create what? Relationships with future business that's going to allow me to do whatever I want in life, right? And guess where that comes from? That little thing that's in front of you that you text on every day, right? You got to be excited about it. You got to be enthusiastic about it. The next time, and I'm going to challenge you guys, the next time someone tells you, hey, you need to do some phones, I want you to just go, yes, finally you asked me to do that, right? And they're going to go, okay, what the heck just happened there, right? And I guarantee you if you do that, you're going to have the best phone time that you have ever had, okay? Because you go into it excited. You go into it expecting that you're going to do amazing things, right? And then what ends up happening is that you get more excited every single time you do phones, because every time you do your phones, you get those demos, which create CPO, which creates money, and you're all like, okay, it's time to do phones, right? So that right there, to me, is what phone stands for. Pretty cool? It's easy to master how to be on the phones if you guys just go through those guidelines. But what we're going to do is I'm going to give you guys some tips as well before we go into the phone approach. One thing I would tell you guys to do is that you guys should be making 20 phone calls a day. 20 phone calls a day is the successful way to becoming the best business owner that you could ever be, okay? I learned this 3 or 4 years into the business. When I went to my first RDC, people were like, oh, well, the reason why I sell so much is because I do 20 phone calls a day. I'm like, are you serious? Who wants to make that many phone calls a day? That's awful. Like, I hate the phones, right? And then you start going, wait, if they did it and they're doing that and they're very successful, that means maybe I should be doing the same thing so that I can become successful. And what happened is after you do it for 30 days of doing that, right? You know, they say a habit is created after 30 days. Well, the thing is that habit now, it's a natural thing, okay? A lot of CSPs were shocked to find out all the way up until last year, I did all my phones by myself. I set up my own appointments. I did all of the handling problems, doing all of that. And people are like, you're still doing all the phones by yourself? And I'm like, yes. And they're like, that's just ludicrous. That's way too much time out of your business that you could be spending selling. And you know what? I now have delegated it off, to an assistant. But the thing is that I would tell you that I love being on the phone. I love doing phone calls. And there's times where my assistant's like, you do know you hired me to do the phones. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. I just really needed to talk to that customer, right? And she's all like, please let me do that. And I was all like, but I really need to talk to that customer, right? Because I love the phones. So 20 phone calls a day, successful way, right? The other thing that I would challenge you to do too is plan your phone times accordingly, okay? Don't make it where it's random. That's why you hate phones, because it feels like you're always doing phone calls, right? Because your manager's like, oh, well, after your demo, do some more phones. Oh, after you do this, do phones. No, block off time in your schedule to do phones, okay? Best time to do phones across the nation is from 6 o'clock until 8 o'clock. Those are where your prime time customers just got off work at 5 o'clock. They're at home. They're prepping their meal. They're ready for, their evening to happen, okay? So 6 to 8, block off times, okay? If you don't want to do 20 phone calls a day, I found that if you do your phone calls on Tuesday, that sets up your Wednesday, Thursday. You do your phone time, that sets up your Friday, Saturday. You do your phones on Sunday, that sets up your Monday, Tuesday. Get it? And the thing is, if you block that off and you know that you need to do those calls, you're going to be more successful. And I think a lot of people don't tell you, do your phone time when it's phone time and then do your business, right? Now, if you're not setting up the appointments, you got to get on the phones more often, right? So, some of that there. Now, on the phone approach that we're going to go through, okay, Josh is going to be running this. Josh is going to have you guys do drills for skills. The reason why I made you guys move is because now you guys are going to be working with a partner next to you that has no clue who you are, doesn't care who you are, okay? And it's going to make you feel very uncomfortable because you have to do your approach for them, okay? But the thing that's nice about this is that this approach is very, very simple. It's very direct. And what it does is it allows you to get to the point where you need to get faster, okay? Now, on the bottom of this, it says, if yes. There is no if no. Do you know why there's no if no? Because there is no ifs. If you're asking if questions, well, what if a customer does this? Okay, well, that's a what if. Like, that hardly ever happens. Why are you thinking about that? Think about the things that are actually more happening, like something that's actually relevant. Okay, what if that happens? Well, it happens. Deal with it. You know what I mean? So it's the same thing. Like people go, well, what if they don't set up the appointment with me? Well, obviously you didn't do this right. Okay, so you need to go back and you need to hone your skill so that you can become better on the phone, right? Now, on here, you guys are going to see there's in big bold, nice enough to help me out. Okay, that's for people that you have no clue who they are, right? One thing that you guys are going to get good at is in your demos, you're going to find out these people's names, right? You're going to know something special about that customer. Well, where it says nice enough to help me out, you're going to still say that, but you're going to add in the whole part. Well, you say, well, Sally, Jill and I were talking, and your name came up because she said that you make the best blueberry pie, and I was giving you a call because I wanted to know if you could help me out with something I'm doing, right? We have another whole connection that's going on the phone. So you can adapt this phone approach to the person that you're actually talking to on the other line so that, A, you sound, personable, right? And then when you hone the craft of doing this, it just makes sense. Cool? And then what we're going to do is we're going to go through this, and then we're going to open up for questions and answers. So, how many of you guys in this room now know what you need to do? Okay? If you don't, that's why we're here. We're going to help you guys. Okay? We want to make it so that you guys are amazing and that you master the phones. Because if you guys get down your phones, if you guys understand how to do your phones correctly, you guys will be unstoppable. Okay? And the thing that's nice about this is that if you guys are really good at the phone, you can help your buddies and you can help the other people that are in your office hone in on their skills as well. The thing that you need to know is that you got to be confident when you're on the phone as well, okay? No is not the way that we go, right? If someone says no to you, that's a challenge to me, right? Oh, well, it really helped me out. I mean, I don't know why you couldn't help me out. It's like really quick, it's fast. It only takes about 30 minutes. Trust me, you don't have to buy anything. I get paid just to show it. And by the way, Sally, Jill did tell me that you literally do make the best blueberry pie. And she told me that you would be a great person for me to come over and talk to. And then you could help me with this recipe of your blueberry pie. And you can you know what I mean? So don't take no as an answer, right? How many of you guys get a no on the phone and the first thing you do is go, oh, crap. And then you cross them off. Or you write some nasty name on their thing. I know all of you guys have done that because I've done it. I'm like, and then I'm all like, oh, right? Don't do that. The thing is that you need to challenge yourself that if a no happens, that's why there is no if no, okay? If there is a no, then that means that you need to find out what you got to do with that customer to get that customer to say yes, right? And it's up to you to make that happen. So instead of just crossing them off the list, that could have been a customer that literally brings you in 100 leads or brings you in thousands of CPO, and what it is that you just didn't catch them on the right time, or what it is that you didn't know how to get that customer on your side, okay? And what I mean on that side is that when you guys are collecting your leads, the one thing that I would tell you to do, and I know that this might go into Josh's thing, but it helps on the phones, which that's what we're talking about, is ask them specifically, what is your favorite thing about this person? Write that down. What is your favorite thing about this person, okay? So if it is a Sally and you didn't find out who makes the best blueberry pie in the demo, which some of you forget, right? At least you could say, yeah, and I was just talking to Susan, and Sally, your name was brought up because she said that her favorite thing about you was blah, blah, blah. And then what happens is that customer goes, oh, really? She said that about me? Oh, yes, she said that you're one of her favorite people and that you're one of the most influential people in her life, blah, 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 right? So on the phone, what do? You connect as a relationship, so it's a higher level, right? So when you ask that question, then they go, oh, she really said that? Yeah, she really said that. You could call her. She literally told me. I don't even know who you are, but she told me that, and I think that's awesome, and I would love to get to know someone that she speaks that highly of, right? That's ammo on the phone, right? And the thing is, the more ammo you have on the phone with that customer, they can't say no to you because they're like, wow, if she really told you that, then I need to meet you, right? You go over there, and next thing you know, when she gives you leads, what do? Well, what's your favorite thing about her? And then she's like, oh, I see what's going on here, right? And they love it Because because what it does is it brings a community together. You know how like Amy was just talking about it in her talk, right? It's when a community comes together. Well, guess what? We're the leader that brings them together, because what it does is it makes their friendship stronger, right? And guess what they have their friendship stronger from? Cutco, right? Because then when she bought, then you go over there and you start talking to her, and then she buys. Then when they have a conversation like, that was so sweet of you to tell the Cutco guy that, like, oh, you're amazing, like, thank you so much for being a loyal friend. And then what happens? Then they go, yes, and oh my gosh, our Cutco, oh, isn't that stuff awesome? Like, I'm so glad that you introduced me to that guy, because now I have the best knives ever. And this is like, and then what happens? Then they start talking about it. Well, then anyone that comes over and starts talking about their Cutco, right? Then they're like, oh, you got to call my Cutco guy. Then guess what rings? Your ATM. Right? Hello, this is Curtis with Cutco. How can I help you? Hey, I was just talking to Susan and I was talking to Sally, and they told me, oh, you know both of them? Oh my gosh, they are so awesome. Like, did you know that they're like best friends? That they're like really close? Right? So some keys for you guys. Take away the little nuggets that I told you. A lot of this is just simple stuff, but the thing is that if you do these little simple golden nuggets now, okay, they transcend into something a lot bigger than you think it is, okay? Take no. If someone says no to you, that's a challenge, okay? Remember that. No is a challenge. 2, you got to be personable on the phone. You have to hone your skill. You have to become outstanding on the phone. Then make it natural, so it's just a natural habit. And then be excited about the phones. Cool? Thank you, guys.